Hey everyone, John Newman here. Thank you for downloading this episode of Card Mensches. Myself and Danny Black of Hobby News Daily would like to remind you this is a live show every other Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It can be found on most of our social medias. Danny's at sportsbalt and Hobby News Daily. I am Sports Card Nation Podcast. And it can be found on our YouTube channels. At Hobby News Daily, Sports Card Nation Podcast, at Sportsbalt, and at Card Mensches. So with that being said, we hope to see you very soon on a Friday night in our very active chat room. Now let's start the show.
Experience, quality, consistency, and the quickest turnaround times in the grading industry? We are proud to partner with SGC Grading. Check them out at www.gosgc.com.
Hi, I'm Danny Black.
And I'm John Newman.
Welcome to Card Mensches. Well, hello. Before we get started, just want to give a big thank you to our sponsors, Stadium Insurance and CIA CollectorInvestorAuctions.com, a great new auction house. If you haven't checked them out, CIA Auctions, CollectorInvestorAuctions.com, and as always, SGC with their turnaround time, which has gotten back down to the 5 or 6 day range, and Stadium Insurance. We all know what's been going on with insurance in this hobby and with thefts and everything else. So just want to give them a shout out and thank them for their support.
Yeah, no doubt. And, like you said, with recent events, insurance really's come to the forefront in the hobby and the importance of having it. So, especially if you have an extensive collection, or even, not 2 million, but any kind of significant value. So this is episode 43 of Card Mensches. Glad to be back after, as we go every other week. I don't know, Danny, there's something coming up in like 5 days, some kind of big show that we're both going to attend. So, I figured we'd kind of preview the show and kind of preview our itinerary kind of at the same time, right? A lot of the people in the chat room will be at the show along with us, as well as a lot of other people listening to us who may not be live in the room itself. So, it's always fun, especially when you get this close, right? The single digits now. It's always fun to talk about things we're doing that other people might share the same things and things to look forward to and that sort of thing. So that's kind of, I know, this week it's like oversaturated national coverage. We're throwing our foray on top of the pile tonight.
And I think we can safely say to everybody, and Warren, look forward to meeting you guys as well.
Yes.
Ruben, 5 days. Yep, we got the countdown going. Hobby News Daily, we threw it up there. I know John posts every day, so the excitement meter is definitely up. We got a lot of exciting things on our agenda. So I think, our goal tonight was just kind of to loosely go through our agenda, stuff that we like doing at the National. The National never quite goes according to plan. Stuff always comes up or something changes, but at least our plan's going into it. And, if anybody, has their own plans or doing stuff, share that in the chat room. And if you have any questions or if you're going for the first time to a National, a lot of great resources and a lot of great people in the chat room to help out. And we're certainly happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, we're both driving. You from Baltimore. I'm from Syracuse. My commute is going to be a little bit closer at 5 hours and 10 minutes. And we're both coming in on Tuesday. For those that don't know, we are rooming together. Your son, Connor, is also going to be with you. And so we're all rooming together. We're coming in on Tuesday, which is, the National don't start till Wednesday, but we're going to kind of come in, relax, get ready, and we'll start off kind of our itinerary with a non-hobby event on Wednesday morning, and that's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right? Anytime, I've never been to Cleveland, I'm a big music guy. Most people know that. You are too. And, we're in Cleveland. I got to go to the Rock and Roll Hall and scratch that off the bucket list. So we're doing that Wednesday morning.
Is it mean of me to say that it's the only thing in Cleveland I've ever really wanted to do?
Well, listen, we all know the Browns are there. When you're a Ravens fan, I'm a Steelers fan. Well, we'd like to go to Cleveland and watch our teams win there. I've never done that. I've never been to Cleveland. But as far as for museums and other things like that, you gotta go to the Rock and Roll Hall.
Well, the only other time I was in Cleveland was at the old stadium before they built this one. What is this? Progressive? Is that what they call this?
Yeah.
Before this stadium, I was at the old stadium before they knocked it down, or before they stopped playing there.
I think what was it? Municipal Stadium.
Cleveland Municipal. Yep. The mistake by the lake, wasn't that what they called? So
we gotta be nice. We got Warren here, who's obviously a big fan of the show. Here's a little tip too for anyone attending or going to the Rock and Roll Hall. You have to buy your tickets ahead of time, and you actually have to tell them what time you're really planning to be there. I guess they have only so many people they allot in at times, and so to keep the flow of traffic, you have to buy your tickets online. They're $35, and tell them what time you're going to be there to start your tour of the hall. So we're going Wednesday morning. We're going to buy our tickets here either tonight or tomorrow, and that'll be our first thing Wednesday, but not our only thing. I don't know if you want to. Obviously we got to go get our.
We got to do all the logistical stuff.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was about to say the badges, the passes, after the hall, get all that stuff done, and then the show starts.
Yeah, it's kind of the preview day, so if you go on the first day, you're going to probably see even displays still being set up. You're going to have to go walk around some things. It's not. What you see on Wednesday they're not fully operational 100%. They're getting there. But Thursday will be kind of that first day. But it's still, the show opens Wednesday. We're going to be there, obviously, like you said. And then we got the Guardians game on Wednesday night. I said that right. I was worried I was going to say what they were used to be called. The Guardians versus Tigers.
Is that who they're playing? I forgot already.
Yeah, they're playing the Detroit Tigers.
Maybe
Cleveland's doing. Listen, the Guardians are doing well. They're in first place. With a young manager who replaced Francona, and so we're gonna, when in Rome, right? We're baseball fans, right? I've never been to that stadium. Tigers are not a bad. I mean, they're not a great team, but they're kind of moving in the right direction.
If Tarek Skubal ends up pitching, we could get lucky and see.
I hope that's the case. So, pretty soon here, I'm going to check the probables. They'll be able to tell us, and some of the weather report looks a little iffy, but again, a lot can change. In between now and then as well. So.
This is the VIP chat room. If you have your VIP tickets for the National, if you have the regular tickets, you are allowed to listen to us. You just will not be allowed to comment or move to the front of the screen. Is anybody in the chat room doing anything in Cleveland? I'm curious about that.
Well, Rubens is his first National.
Yeah, I put that up there before.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Excited and prepared to be overwhelmed. That would be a great description, Ruben.
Yeah, I will tell you this. When my first one, everyone was telling me what it's like, and I thought I had it figured out. And then you walk in there for the first time, and it's crazy. It's prepared to be. I guess I'll be a little dramatic, amazed, right?
Here we go. I might go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on Sunday. It's funny. I thought about doing it on the back end. Logistically, it's not going to work out, but that's another good idea. I bet Sunday a lot of people are going.
Yeah.
Well, you want to continue our week schedule?
Yeah, all right. So that's Wednesday. We'll go to the Guardians Tigers game, then come back and get ready for Thursday. Thursday, the first full day of the National, and obviously we're obviously looking forward to meeting folks for again, or some for the first time. Many of you in the chat room hope are on that list, and we're going to start our kind of, that's to me, Thursday is when the show, everything is up. Everybody's operational. There's nothing, you don't have to like navigate around a display that's on the ground. That's got to be like drilled somewhere. You can start your card buying, although I've never had luck early in the show. It's always been more later for me, but at least you can start to, what I like to do early in the show, I don't know if this would be classified as a tip, unless it's something that's pretty rare, which usually is probably out of my budget 9 times out of 10. I kind of take Thursday as like to look and see prices of stuff I'm interested in, and then Friday really start, take notes, and Friday start to find where my best deals are on cards that I'm kind of looking for. But Thursday, is our first. I'm blessed to get to do some main stage performances on the Mike Burkus main stage. Yep. And Thursday at 3 p.m. Cleveland time is our first one. And that'll be, many of you I know are familiar with Hobby Hotline. We'll be on the main stage at 3 p.m. Many of your favorite hosts, including us and others, will be Thursday at 3 p.m. It'll be about 50 to 55 minutes long. Hopefully some interactive. We'll get the crowd sort of involved, maybe ask some questions of us, the panel. And there should be about 6 or 8 of us up there. And, no matter how many times I do these, Danny, I don't know, you've done them now probably almost as much as me. Yeah, but I keep my clothes on now, which I should have did then too.
You
but
make a lot less money, though.
Yeah. No matter how many times I do these, I still get a kick out of it, right? It's still really cool, and to be privileged and to get to do it. I don't take that for granted. I kind of approach each year of these as like, this might be the last time I get to do it. So I kind of go in there with that perspective. So it's fun, getting some of the guys involved in the show. This show's on its 4th or 5th year. Some different people involved now than originally, but it's always fun. And a lot of times you can have people come up after these and say, "Hey, I watch the show all the time. I've never met you." It's pretty cool, right? So,
Mookie, the short answer is yes.
I don't want to answer. I don't want to answer. Yeah. Listen, we try to keep it interactive. It's fun. We're going to have some topics I'll kind of pre-plan, but we always try to open it up for, like this show, for audience participation, right? So for sure.
And do you want to go ahead and share the other live while we're doing it?
Yeah. So Seth, you want to go in chronological order?
I want to skip ahead to the other live. We got 2 lives. Let's share.
All
share.
All right. So Saturday, same time, 3 p.m. This was the sport that first one on Thursday is the Hobby Hotline, which we usually get every year. We're blessed, and Sports Card Nation also gets one, and we usually get it an hour, just like Hobby Hotline. So that's going to be Saturday, and I've done these. I've had Cousins Collectibles. I've had you up there. I've had Andy Friedman, the artist, up there. I've had Brody the Kid. And, when I was really thinking, like, hey, who do I want to bring on stage for Sports Card Nation? This thing really came to the forefront. And so we're doing this, right? HobbyNewsDaily.com, which is Danny's news website, just celebrated its first year. Many of the writers and content creators that are a part of that site, including us too, will be there. Danny will have some questions, and we'll chop up some hobby topics. I don't want to speak for Danny, but I'm assuming we might open that up for some audience interaction as well. Again, what's nice about this, folks, with Hobby Hotline, while there are some similarities, will be some different people with Hobby News Daily that won't be on with Hobby Hotline. So you'll get some different faces and different voices. But I'll let you talk. This is your deal.
Well, I want to give a shout out and a thank you to you. I know that it's very hard to get time on the Mike Burkus main stage, but given that time and letting Hobby News Daily get a little light shined on it and a little exposure. For those of you who know that I run hobbynewsdaily.com, and we're just thrilled to be able to get some of the writers up and get a good panel and talk about the hobby and cards and have fun and all the things we love. Yes, Mr. Moynihan has written for Hobby News Daily.
Yeah, and we don't know who's going to be part. Some people won't be there Saturday; may have already left. So we can't really officially announce. Obviously, us too. But we don't know exactly who will be there. But there'll be probably 6 to 10 people on that panel. What else was I going to say about this? So this is really, again, I never take this for granted. It's a privilege and an honor, and really, glad we get to do this. And I wanted to, highlight a great site. You go and that doesn't you're doing well, right? But what bigger stage, right, than the biggest card show on the planet, right? And that's going to be the National. So it just makes sense. I saw a comment, is there a biker? The Nationals in town, the Nationals, plural, which is a car show like hot rods and old vintage cars, not cards, CARS, not DS. That comes once a year like the Card National does. And it comes to Syracuse once a year. And I live on the street that is the main street where all these cars and go up and down, do burnouts. And there's people literally, I can see them from my window. I was telling Danny before we went live, there's people in like lawn chairs all along my street. My son had an idea like selling like popcorn and drinks like waters and sodas. The entrepreneur. We're not doing that, but we joke about it. It's crazy. I'm not a car guy. I'm a card guy. I'm not a car guy. So it's really annoying for me. But if you're a car guy, this is your Nationals, much like the National is our National for cards. So
and thank you for being correct about that. The card show is the National.
Yeah, the car show like you drive is the Nationals with the S at the end.
Yes. There. All right, we got that correct. So just wanted to thank you, John, for everything you've done to get that on the stage, and looking forward to that on Saturday. And I just wanted to jump ahead and cover both of those at the same time.
Yeah, and that's, obviously there's more to it than that. Thursday is I'm losing track. It's in my phone.
Thursday is the YouTube get together.
YouTube get together, which Mike Moynihan does a great job along with others putting that on. We try to go every year. I think I've been every year. Maybe I missed one, and that's just a great event, and you get that many people from content creation in one room at the same time. Many you meet for the first time. Many you reconnect for again, and it's a great time. You get to talk hobby, talk life, eat some food, and sort of get amped up for the following day. Kind of it's the first full day, right? In this case, it's the first full day. You may be starting to feeling a little tired, especially if you came in on Tuesday or Wednesday, and that gets your juices, it gets your passion meter refilled and ready for Friday, which is one of the busier days, Friday and Saturday. I could make an argument that Friday might be busier than Saturday, as many people head out on Saturday. So,
yeah, Orlando, I think a lot of people look forward to that get together to see friends and see people in person that we've never seen in person. So I just think that's I've heard that from a lot of people about the get together being so important. So looking forward to seeing everybody there. And I think Connor is going to make that event. So just remember, he's 13. Do not buy him a drink.
Or buy him a vodka and say it's a Sprite. That always works too. And I've never done that. I just know.
Right. I might have done it when I was younger.
It's just a guess.
But Thursday, one of my favorite things at the show on Thursday is to check out the auction houses and the items there. I know it's stuff that we're going to see a million times. I know it's stuff that everybody's going to do content on, but just going over and seeing the items for myself with my own two eyes, not necessarily even filming it for content. I'm really looking forward to seeing like Babe Ruth's called shot jersey and some other stuff that they have. And John, you are a bad influence. I'll agree with
somebody's got to do it.
Warren,
right? When my grandfather was alive, I was raised by my grandparents. He said, "Do one thing and do it better than anyone else," and that's kind of what I picked. Sorry, folks. And so then Thursday we nice get together with the Moynihan dinner and content creator dinner. That's a great event. And then Friday, right? It's going to be busy. It's going to be busy every day, but I think Friday again, like I said a few minutes ago, I don't know. You agree with that, Danny? Friday busier than Saturday, or it depends on
it might depend on the weather, but those 2 days are certainly the two busiest days of the week, without a doubt.
Yeah, and so Friday is for me historically kind of the day I usually get my first card of significance. My rookie Hall of Fame graded card off my want list. Seaver rookie is still at the top of that. Truth be told, it's not a secret. There's plenty of them. You can't buy them all. Go try. I'd like to see it. Run your credit card bill up. But so Friday, hopefully, bag one of those cards, if you will. I say bag like I'm a hunter. I guess I am. I'm a card hunter.
I think somebody else has used that, but I won't.
That's all right. But that person steals other people's show lines, names anyway. So turnabout is fair play. Hopefully get my first card off kind of that Hall of Fame rookie want list. Because Saturday is kind of usually my last day. This will be the first time I ever will be there on a Sunday. So Friday we have that. We have the whole show. No main stages. I know I've got some on the floor interviews set up with different entities. I'm being interviewed by in a studio as you are as well with I think Tops Live Studio with Samuel. A couple of those on different days. If they're in my phone, I'll be there. I won't be late. I just don't know them off the top of my head. They're real quick 5-10 minute things too. And then I'll do I always do
how it is at the National. We got to make sure we're not on the wrong side of the building with 3 minutes to go. We got to make sure we're at time.
Yeah, and I've never been to Cleveland. I always get lost in the Chicago National, so I hope I don't get lost in the Cleveland ones. And then Friday, and I think some of you guys might be attending this. I'm looking forward to this. I'll let Danny speak to his feelings. But this is, and I'll talk more about it. Let me put this graphic on the screen. Friday after the show at 6:30 is the first exclusive screening of the new Diamond King movie, a Mark Evans film, which is about, as the name probably gives it away, Dick Perez and his great work as a hobby icon doing the Diamond King series for Donruss. And so I'm sort of involved in this sense. I've had Mark and Dick Perez on the show more than once promoting this. I've got to meet them. I've backed this film, so I'll be in the credits of the film, which is pretty cool, if you will. And we'll see you there, Warren, as well. And I'm sure I will. I may not love the Browns, but I think I'll love Cleveland. at the end of the show. But this shapes up to be a great film. If you're a hobbyist like me that's been around 40 years, and I wrote an article, and I'm a Tops kid. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Tops is in my backyard, and I grew up a Tops kid, very loyal. And even when Donruss first came to the scene in Fleer, I sort of was resistant. And then the Diamond Kings hit the scene. And that was the first thing, as I wrote in a column I wrote, that made me turn my head and say, what are these? And I like them. And I told that to Dick Perez. It's not lip service. And to get to talk to him and get to know him a little bit when he had that sort of influence on me, this is going to be a cool experience for everyone that's going to see this and everyone there, and get to share it with fellow hobbyists as well. So I'll let you kind of talk. You're going as well. I'll let you kind of give your sort of synopsis there.
I agree with everything John said. No,
I wanted to take a drink, and that's what you get.
If I can't have any fun,
I'm doing it anyway.
No, I'm so excited to see it. So excited for my son to see it. Diamond King, if you're of a certain age and you grew up, I mean, they were the insert of inserts. I'm a fan of sports art in general. John's been to my house. I don't talk about that a ton, but just the artwork and what Dick has done in his career. I'm excited just to see the movie as sort of, not knowing, much of the story and not having interviewed Dick and Mark like John has. I'm excited to hear their firsthand accounts in the movie, and I'm excited to see it. I think it'll be a good time. I think Connor hopefully will enjoy it, and if nothing else, I'm sure I'm going to walk out of there buying some autographed Diamond King cards at the National.
So I want to answer this question for Ruben. He says, "Wait, if you donated, you're in the credits suite." I believe so. So if you donated or bought one of those 1,000 set produced sets, which I bought multiple, you should be in the credits. I'm not 100% positive. I think there's going to be parts of my interview with Dick and Mark made part of the film. I don't know if they, sometimes stuff ends up on the cutting room floor. I know it was mentioned earlier that they may use some of that material. Now, whether, am I going to be disappointed? No, because nothing's promised, right? But if they use it, it'll be another cool moment for Sports Card Nation to add to the list in the last 6 years. Again, I don't know with 100% certainty. That was kind of mentioned early on. Things change, movie goes in different directions. Something doesn't flow. I know Mark said, I'm hoping you're there and get to see it. The way he said that, I hope there's an extra reason for that. But again, not 100%, but we'll see.
Well, and that'll be a great way to wrap up Friday.
Yeah, that'll be the end of Friday. And then,
we'll probably dinner, chill out a little bit.
Yeah, we'll end Friday with a dinner, get back to the hotel, relax. I can't speak for Danny, guys. I know there are a lot of trade nights going on too after the show, at the show venue, sponsored by different people. I'm not a trade night guy. And nothing against it. If you are, more, God bless you. I just get my fill of cards during the show, and then I don't eat lunch. So I've talked about this before. I'm a guy that will just eat like granola bars or a Kind bar and just Cliff bars during the day, trail mix. And so I'm 6 o'clock rolls around, and I'm I might bite your hand if it gets too close to my face. Like I'm hungry. So I'm a dinner guy. I'm a dinner guy when I'm at home. So it's not a national thing. But all the more so because now I'm not eating lunch. So I'm like a shark. I'm smelling blood in the water. And so dinner is a big meal for me at the National because I skip lunch. And so we'll do dinner. We got a couple dinners planned.
And we're just going to agree to disagree on lunch. I'm going to eat lunch. I'm not embarrassed to admit that I will be eating lunch most days, and I will be sharing and breaking bread with people in the hobby, and hopefully you can eat some granola.
Yeah, Danny. It was funny last year in Chicago. Danny goes
I
into
set up
the
an
little
office.
cafeteria. Yeah, he set up an office in like the cafeteria, and every time I like went by there was a new person at the table he was talking with. It was like the five families. It was like sit downs going on. I
You
felt
gotta
like if I went out there, like you bother me when at this day I'm talking to
Gotta do a
Mike
little bit of
Chungwek's
business.
hero. So that's what Danny does. I'm going. I'm putting miles on the pedometer. I'm eating granola bars, trail mix, not much. Some days I don't even eat much of that, and then I make up for it at dinner time. So we have different approaches to food
Yes.
intake when it comes. That's where we kind of get off at different. A
Absolutely,
lot of times
man.
you text me like, come out and sit down," and I'm like, no. A lot of times I would refuse. Sometimes I did, but I'm like, nah, I'll catch you later, or I got to do this. So don't forget we're rooming together too. So it's not like I won't see you. But so that's Danny's approach. Mine's a little bit different. I'll have a backpack with some of that kind of stuff in it that I'll take a five. And when I stopped it, like it's like 5 minutes, and then I'm back running through the show again. So it's like it's more like NASCAR. Logan would be proud of this line. I go in, eat like a granola bar, and get back on the track and try to keep up with the crowd. So NASCAR reference there for our friend Logan. So that's how I approach it, and then I make up for it, like I said, at dinner time. So where are we still on Friday? Well, we're kind of done with
Well, we
Friday.
wrapped up Friday, heading into Saturday, and Saturday is kind of our last full day at the show.
Yeah, it really is. The last full day. Like I said, I got a 5 hour and 10 minute drive back, so I can't leave. I got to work Monday, so I can't leave super late on Sunday. But if everything goes according to plan, this will be the first time I ever attended a Sunday at the National. What I'm curious about, Danny, I don't want to speak for you. I don't know if you've ever been there on a Sunday. I haven't yet. I'm curious to see if we're going to see some of the, hey, 50% off for the showcase, blowout kind of sales. Maybe a dealer who didn't do as well as he or she liked will kind of say, hey, I'm blowing some stuff out, so I have to bring less stuff home with me. I'm curious to see if stuff like that happens, like it kind of does in your local shows or regional shows sometimes.
I want to talk to the dealers. I'm curious how many of them are going to be doing another major card show in the next month or two. Are they going to Fanatics Fest? Are they going to be at Dallas or Chantilly or Philly or whatever's coming up on the calendar? Because I think a lot of dealers now, the regional shows have gotten so large that they don't necessarily need to discount on a Sunday as much anymore because they're going right into another big size show. It's not such a small show in the regional ones. So I'm curious when I'm talking to dealers if the Fanatics Fest or any of those shows have an effect on that.
Yeah, that's a good question. That'd be a good, Hobby News Daily kind of.
The East Coast National, a great one, Mookie. Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe something the Hobby News Daily can kind of touch on and weigh in on and get some quotes from some of those dealers to use. And, I'm like, hey, listen, I'm trying to get some deals. So maybe Sunday, Sunday obviously is going to be the last chance for everybody, whoever's still there, to get those deals. Maybe, it's a great day too for dealer to dealer transactions. Hey, I got a buyer for this at my store back home, right? Let's make a deal on this. That happens at every show, but everything's grander on the national scale, including those dealer to dealer transactions. So I'm curious what Sunday's like for never being there on a Sunday. I probably got to head out. I'm going to leave from the show home. We'll be checked out of the hotel. So I'm looking at like 2:00 sort of at the latest, ETA or ETD, estimated time of departure. That'll bring me home about 7 or 8 o'clock, kind of unpack, settle in and basically get ready to go back to school the next day. So I'm sure I have a lot of kids who will give me hugs and high fives and say they miss me. That's always a good feeling. I'll probably get a couple, oh, you again, Mr. Newmans, and, too. So, but, the National Week, it goes by so quick. Going back to Saturday again, Hobby News Daily on the main stage at 3 p.m. Love to see as many people there for that as well. And it's going to be fun. Saturday's our Hobby Hotline dinner. We always have an annual dinner where as many of us Hobby Hotline guys go out to eat and talk life, talk hobby, what we picked up, all that kind of fun stuff. And summer school, Ruben. It's summer school for me right now. So
I think one of the things on Sunday is for family reasons. I'm actually staying in Cleveland past the National, so I'm checking out of our hotel, putting my son on an airplane to fly back to Baltimore, and then I'm getting my wife from the airport, and we're checking into another hotel. So it's going to be a day of running around Cleveland on Sunday for me. But I'm hoping to spend a little time with family actually when all settles down, and that should be nice to end the week with some family time before next week gets going.
Yeah, and you know how I feel, man. Hopefully all goes well, and it's a happy return trip to Baltimore. And speaking of Baltimore, and this is off topic, but the Mets are in Baltimore next year. But unfortunately, it's in August. It's not in the week kind of I looked at.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
I forgot the schedule just came out.
Yeah, so the Mets are in Baltimore. We'll have to see what we can do there. I'm not saying no, but it will be a little bit trickier than the week that I can where I'm off from school. Let's put it that way. So,
well, we'll be just getting back from Chicago. We got to see what the Chicago National schedule is.
That's a lot of T's to cross, I's to dot.
And then who knows what with the Fanatics Fest? I'm not ruling this out as something that might be on the schedule.
Yeah, we'll see.
I know you have your doubts on the Fanatics Fest.
I don't have doubts. I just think it's going to be a different type of event. I think Fanatics wants it to be a different type of event. I think they want it to be sort of the sports version of a Comic-Con, and that's a different event than what the National is. I don't think they necessarily want to replicate the National. I think they want to do their own thing. At least right now, things can change. Michael Rubin, love him or hate him, is a very competitive dude. That's how he got to the position he's in. So maybe, he decides to take on the National and exactly what they do, and in his mind, do it better, right? We don't know. We know they wanted to get into grading. That could still happen. I know they tried to buy SGC. So are you going to Tokyo?
Steven says the Cubs will be in Tokyo. Otherwise, it's just on TV.
So, but there's so much. The hobby changes so quickly now with different announcements and news and different things. So who knows?
Well, let's talk about
what's
that.
Next.
Are you expecting us to hear some major news at the National? We don't. This is nothing inside information. This is just conversation.
I don't think anything earth-shattering, honestly. Nothing. I'm thinking of last year's National. Nothing. We kind of expected, like the rumor was, we were going to hear that Fanatics had acquired Panini, right? That never came to fruition. It still hasn't come to fruition almost a year later, right? I don't think anything along the lines of that significant, but there'll be an announcement. Hey, we've added this to our repertoire. We're now grading this when we never had before. One thing I love, I don't have any insider information. I'd love for SGC to say, hey, we're doing tickets now, which they don't do, right?
They did announce today they're not grading on site.
That I knew. That I did know. So,
Well, there was some news that came out.
I'm surprised.
I guess some of the news already came out.
Yeah, so I don't listen. Maybe I'll use reverse psychology here. I don't expect anything that's going to move the Richter stick scale significantly. Will there be announcement? People are sitting on stuff just to release it during the national. That's just par for the course.
Sure.
But anything like, but who
Well,
knows, right?
I mean,
Maybe someone's sitting on a big story and using the National Week to unveil it.
I mean, some of the news is relevant. I mean, JSA doing grading autograph on card for CGC. You know, I have a specific card I want to submit to them that got a questionable from PSA. So
Yeah.
In fact, yep, there you go, Mookie, talking about that. And they also announced they're doing oversized.
Yep.
So
I think it'll be stuff like
doing comic books.
Yeah. I think it'll be stuff. I think it'll be stuff like that. I think you're going to see companies do things to compete with other companies. That's stuff they weren't doing before. Like you said, PSA is going to now do comic books and go head to head with some of those other companies that are already doing comic books and get a piece of the pie and take a piece of pie, hopefully in their mind, from the more established companies, right? That's what it is. Fanatics is going to have some sort of announcement. I don't think it'll be a Panini one, but it'll be, hey, we signed this player to an exclusive contract. He can't sign autographs or have memorabilia in other companies' products. It'll be things like that.
Coming up in a couple of weeks, I wonder if what their strategy is going to be.
Yeah. This is the side stories, right? In addition to shopping for cards and meeting people and going to dinner and that sort of thing. This will be those conversation points that we do have with people and let's, I don't say this in a braggadocious way, but people on the inside. I know people on the inside. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes we get told something and we have to basically promise not to let the cat out of the bag. Could we do it? Sure. Then we'll never get told again. And that stuff is a ripple effect. No one else will tell us anything either. So we're pretty good about playing by the rules. At this point, full disclosure, I don't have any of that kind of stuff other than I knew SGC wasn't doing on-site grading before they made that announcement. So I already had known that. So,
well, yeah, absolutely. Ruben says probably the only announcement from Panini is the delay on the release of the football product again from last year.
and they made that announcement already, so they're not even saving that for the national. They don't want that talked about at the national. They're doing it now and get it out there and be done with it, right?
How about How about the Topps redemption, where they're just going to honor any redemption ever?
That's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. It's reminiscent of what the black or white boxes that Panini did when you don't want to wait for your redemptions anymore. They took a page from the Panini playbook, in my mind. There, you got the CT scanner story, which is not a manufacturer story, but doing illegal stuff to find out. I just found this out from you tonight, honestly. I
was using the machine in the background, and you kept asking me what I was doing.
Yeah, so you're getting all those. You're getting all those holograms. You're finding all those holograms out of the '91 Upper Deck baseball release. Those are in every pack, Danny. You don't need your CT scanner.
And then what else came out? And this is what Mike Petty's talking about, that the Hall of Fame autographs are only available in the breaker boxes. And they're not available in the regular boxes. So there's all sorts of stuff going on in the hobby. It'll be very interesting watching the transition. See, to me, the National is a snapshot of a couple of days of what every company wants you to think of them. It's like
their biggest. We talk about the National being the biggest stage for collectors or buying and selling cards as a dealer, as a consumer. This is the corporate's time to shine. This is their week as well. They're paying. You think a dealer pays a good chunk of change to set up at the National? Corporates are paying 5 to 6 figures to set up at the National. They want to get their most bang for their buck. They want to make news and headlines as much as they can legitimately. So yeah, for sure, this is their World Series week, right? I call it the Super Bowl of hobby. It's Super Bowl week for everybody: collectors, dealers, breakers, content creators, corporate, manufacturers, upstart companies, brand new companies, news outlets such as Hobby News Daily. Like, this is the week, man. This is the week you circle on the calendar and say, this is where we have to make an impact, right? Like an asteroid. We got to make a big crater and get the most bang for a buck. And that's just common sense. It's not rocket science. It's not outthinking anyone else. It's just what you need to do. And that's what you're going to see.
The doctor to me after a scan, is that a Ripken rookie in your pocket, or you just happy to see me? Well, from now on, if I ever get a CT scan, I'm bringing some wax with me, and I'm just making sure that I can get it all put on the insurance.
Well, if you would have told me I could have got a CT scanner in 1989 and got all the Greg Jeffrey rookies without opening all the packs, I would have probably bought one.
Mookie wants to know what the Jason Veritek signing is, so he can get.
I don't believe he's there. He might be, or is he? I don't know.
Now there is going to be a card that will be available.
Yes, there will. Right here, free. It won't cost you anything.
Cost you a smile and a handshake.
Yeah, the official first ever cardmensches card. There is a backside to this. I showed it a week or two ago. I don't have the picture in the room right here. We're going to have these on us. They will be signed. These are obviously before signing. But besides wanting to meet you, if you're brave enough to want to have one of these, feel free to ask, and we'll make sure. We don't have unlimited amounts. So we don't have 1,000 of these, let's say. They're not numbered. So you don't, there's no, this year, I will say this year, there are no parallels or one of ones.
There's a zebra parallel for Mike Petty only.
But, next year, maybe we'll throw a couple wrinkles. And this was our first foray out the gate with this card. Next year we'll probably do, obviously, a different design with different pictures. But this is kind of our logo for the show. So we started off with that one, and we'll have them signed already, and they won't be authenticated. I've known to have secretary signatures, so maybe my wife signed a couple of these, and I'm sorry about that. But or the clubby might have signed.
Even they're not sticker autos; they'll be on card autos.
Yeah, they will be on. We'll have to do next year. We might have to do some sticker autos though, just for fun.
Mike, I don't know how many John actually ordered. He won't fess up. It's somewhere between 500 and 500.
Mike Petty's very close with that guess. He's a little high, so 500.
There we go.
Now some of them we're keeping, like they're not going to be 500 in circulation, right? But there'll probably be 300-400 in circulation if we give them all out. I don't know if we'll be doing that, but they won't.
Right.
So, we're a little fun. Listen, we stole the pay. We love Dylan and Adam's Splendid Sports card last year. We're like, we got to do one, and it's a way to have a little fun, poke a little fun at itself. And
I pulled it up just to give a shout out and give for what
I don't even have one. I never got one.
It was very cool.
So yes, if you want one, if you if the stigma don't bother you owning this, ask for one. We'll give one to you.
And you don't need a CT scanner to find the autograph.
No, no CT scanner needed.
Absolutely not, Stephen.
We might be in court after giving these out.
It says fun face. It says fun face.
Yeah, no, the knobs are not shown, but that might be a future idea. So.
Yeah, right, exactly. With bat relics from the Ruth Cole shot and Jackie Robinson's first homer mixed in. Yeah, that's how we roll.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't be going to the National. I'd just be keeping the bat.
Yeah. So
Well, buddy, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited to
yeah,
catch
man,
up
we're in
with
sync.
you.
Anytime, I'm excited when the cat. When do you start? Here's a good question, and for the chat room too. When I mean, you're always excited, right? You're always looking forward to the national. Minute to the national end, you're looking forward to the next one. But when do you officially really start getting excited? How many days out for you?
I mean, once we get within a couple of weeks, then it turns real. It goes from theoretical to real at a couple of weeks out.
Yeah, I think for me,
I mean,
which is probably
you're already packed. Your suitcases in the
my bag
car.
is packed.
Your car's running down in the driveway.
My bag, I put it on social media too soon, with the quote "too soon." I packed yesterday. The only thing I got to pack now is a toiletry bag, and we're ready to go. I love that line. I got to put that up there. Mike gets excited. We're both go ahead, put it up there. I know we're. I get excited when my collecting flight is canceled. I get excited about myself. I'm always excited, but really kind of ramped up and really like thinking about 10 to 14 days out. And here's why. We're 10 to 14 days out. And this is about the time where we know when events we have to attend to, interviews are scheduled, main stage times start becoming, they're not maybe 100% confirmed, but they're sort of 90% confirmed. And we kind of know without 100% certainty. That's when I start getting ramped up, because then, like you said, it gets real. We know where we have to be. We know we're going to the Guardians game. We know we're attending this event on this day. And then when you get in single, and yeah, for Steven, that's his backyard show. That's his home
Well,
show.
he's going to have it for a while.
Yeah. So I mean, I get that 100% as loud cars go by. I can't, nothing I can do about that. But yeah, for me, 10 to really, really ramped up 10 to 14 days out. But I'm excited 2-3 months out. I think when we get inside of 3 months, so like 60 days, I really start thinking about it, doing the countdown. But like giddy 10 to 14 days out.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that has a joke in there. Man, it's like people. I think there's a wire in my house. Somebody's or
somebody's a little too close to home.
Yeah. So.
Yep. And dude wipes after eating all that granola.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. It goes too quick. I want to see how this feels to me being there on a Sunday too. Will it feel like a longer week? Because I'm not usually there on a Sunday. Will that change the vibe for me? I don't know if it will or it won't. I know I'm going to be tired on Monday. A couple years ago, I brought COVID back with me from Chicago, and went back to school. Thankfully, none of my kids got sick. I came back feeling super tired, thinking it was just jet lag and from the trip and all the walking. I came back to school, hugs and high fives. I came home at like 3:00, went on the couch, and my wife was shaking me at 7 p.m. like, you slept through dinner. Now that's the first sign something's wrong. If I sleep through dinner, something's wrong, right? So I slept through dinner. I told her I am like lethargic tired. Like, there's tired, and then I don't know what this is. And I woke up at 2 with chills and sweats, and I had COVID. Then I was really feeling bad on two fronts. Feeling bad physically and feeling bad like, did I unknowingly get a kid sick with COVID? Thankfully, no, none of the kids got it from me, but that, I'm sensitive to stuff like that.
Sure.
And there's special needs kids on top of that. So that throws a little monkey wrench in there as well. But thankfully, just me. I was only sick for a day. I couldn't go back to work, but as far as symptom-wise, I was only sick for the day. So, COVID still exists. Not obviously on the same level that during those days. So, be safe, hand sanitizer, all that fun stuff.
2 pairs of shoes, new thing of deodorant, brush your teeth, bring a mints, Tic Tacs for your friend, This is just common sense rules.
Axe body, even with like I carry Axe body spray, even with deodorant, man, it gets hot in some of these places. Like deodorant's not a miracle worker, right? Like even people use it, myself, like the stuff has like a shelf life. You can't put it on, and I don't care what the outside of the container says. 24-hour long lasting protection. You get thousands of people together in a hot room, that 24 hours can be 6 hours, right? So I carry Axe just in case. I don't want to be stinking if I can prevent it, right? I try to think about other people. So yeah, shoes. But I will say this, man. I don't care. You can wear Hoka's or whatever brand is Rockports, whatever is your feet are going to be sore.
Yeah.
I wore Hoka's last year. My feet were screaming at me like we give up and waving the white flag. And I said, no, not so fast, my friends. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Get some rest tonight, boys. You're back on your feet tomorrow. So your feet are going to hurt. But obviously, I think the more comfortable shoes you wear, the less they will. Maybe that's the way.
Well, you're supposed to alternate every day on the foam shoes anyway, not to get too dorky about it, but give them a day to recover.
Yeah.
My friend, we're on the home stretch here. We're literally days till we're checking in.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I'm curious, like, it's a 5-hour, 10-minute drive for me. You got a longer drive, man. I don't envy
I'm
you.
about 6 hours. It's not terrible.
Yeah. All right. Every drive is different, right? There's different scenery. I told someone at work today that I work with, I was driving to Cleveland next week and I wasn't going to be at work except for Monday. And they're like, wow, it's not a long drive, but it's terrible scenery. Like it's pretty boring drive. So that kind of like, I don't want to say it scared me, but I'm like, oh man, there's not what I want to hear, right? I want to hear, man, it's a great drive. It'll be 5 hours, but it'll feel like 2.5. Like I don't want to hear like it's a pretty boring drive.
Nah, that's what audio books are for.
Yeah. New Balance, Axe spray, the top. I'm hoping that's what I don't have New Balances. I'm probably bringing some Nike Max Airs and maybe some Hey Dudes. My feet are gonna hurt. My feet are gonna hurt. So, like the last.
Thanks, Mookie. My son's coming as well, so we'll be in separate beds. But I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm not going now. I'm out.
Right.
That's it. I was sold a different.
I'm a good cuddle.
I was sold a different bill of goods.
Yeah, well, at the price you're paying, this is like whetting the appetite. This is like showing somebody pictures of food, but not letting them eat. I could drive there tonight.
I couldn't. I'm pretty tired, and there's some Crown in here, so I won't be hitting the road. And I don't know if I can get out of my driveway with all these hot rods going up and down my street. Anyway, luckily it ends pretty much early Sunday. It's over, and they're done with it. 1 year, funny national story. 1 year, my family's not a big fan of this event because we live on the road. It can be very noisy, hard to get in the driveway if we're out and about. 1 year, the Nationals were here while I was at the sports card event, and my wife said, "You lucky bastard, you left us here to deal with all this crap, and you're out of state." So I'm like,
pretty much.
Good timing.
That's funny.
Ruben, this will be next year's card.
No, it won't be, Ruben. I can promise you that. that it will not. That it will not be. I'm excited. I think I'm bringing very, very few cards myself. We talked a little bit off air. I'm not ready to commit yet to exactly, but I'm going to spend the weekend going through stuff. And we'll see. I like I said, I think I'm going to try to make a real dent in the 57 set. I'm about halfway through roughly, and I really want to get a lot of those commons just finished and some of the high numbers and see if I can find those. That's where I think I'm going to be preparing this weekend, getting my checklist and database and all that updated.
Yeah, I get asked how much do I bring? I really, even driving, like obviously when you drive, you can bring more stuff, but I'm not a big trader. I'm more of a buyer and seller, and I'm not a seller at the National. Like, I don't go table to table with a Zion case and say, you know, hey, are you buying? I do that as a dealer at shows I set up with. So I actually I don't really bring cards. I'm sure I'll bring a few. I have some podcast guest cards that some of the guests will sign. I keep a 3-ring binder of. But as far as cards to wheel and deal, I don't go to trade nights. So that's not, again, that's just my deal. It doesn't mean like
Thanks,
it's not
Mike.
a great event. So I won't have a lot of cards other than what I pick up at the National itself for me.
Wow. I am looking forward to it, my friend.
Yeah, man. We're when we wake up tomorrow, we're 4 days away from Tuesday, and
One business day until I'm in the car.
yeah. Well, I count each day because every day's business. Every day, some type of business is going.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for episode, what was this? 43.
43.
86 weeks. 86 weeks we've been doing this. And episode 44 will be after the National. So I'm sure we'll talk about all of
Probably
our,
a post-national review. And then, you know what? I'm looking forward to that episode. I don't want to speak. Oh, you can chime in here, Danny. I'm kind of looking forward to that episode because we can talk about the people we met. And they might be in the room and can, maybe we'll get some, man, you're uglier in person than you are on screen. I'm sure there'll be a few of those. And
I expect that.
that's, but it'll be funny for people, especially we meet for the first time, it's different meeting someone in real time and then interacting with them in the chat room than not. So it'll be fun to do a review and talk about some of those, experiences and fun moments and that sort of thing. So, looking forward to that episode in full transparency, right? That's what it probably is going to be. So.
Yeah, without a doubt, I don't think there's any secret to that.
Yeah.
All right, John, appreciate another great episode. I will see you in a couple days. To everybody else, thanks for joining us for Card Mensches, and say goodnight, John.
Good night, John.